Burgard Rippy over here at the 3699 Ranch on the final day of September. This will be my last garden update. I don't have a whole lot of garden to show, but for the history books, here we are. This week I received 1 3/8 inch. That's between. Is that a rally car? I think so. Huh. So a lot of events here Saturday afternoon, and but I'm home. And sort of, you don't want to garden year round, or do you? And so I'm gardening more than I wanted to this year. I repaired the lawnmower. My steering's kind of sloppy. I'm not sure if I'll buy new steering links or not, on my little green one. And burning brush at the pond today. It was so dry before. Since the last video, I cut all of these Mexican sunflowers off, and then these are all new blooms to get seed for next year, and hopefully do the whole row like I wanted to this year. There's more there than I thought, but I did have a little bit of seed. I'm gonna harvest the seed out of these again. We'll have another look at that. The plan is I mixed my seed up this year. I did pretty well on my tree work. This is our hay with manure on it. It kind of got to my lungs and eyes. Caught up on the hedge trimming clear around the house. I have a fungus or something behind my house. My mom liked these in my garden yesterday. I pulled them out. I'm going to try to get these little marigold seeds off, or whatever they are, and put them separate, and maybe have a row of these next year. I just had the one. Oh, that's what I'm trying to figure out what all this seed is I have. I have Zena. This might be a mix. I wrote it down. And then these are Mexican. The ones I cut off the last time. And so there's only about 24 of these at the most. And I think they're too small to, and I don't know last year what I did. And some of them I transplanted back to the pond were less than a size of a pencil caliper. And these are Chinese hemlocks even. I didn't get a good germ from all that seed I bought. So I have 20 some bucks in these trees already. And the plan is now still to put them in the house for the winter. So out here in my dirty garage, caught up on the repairs. I found out when you have a Prius you don't ride your motorcycle. I only ate about 2 onions this week. I slicing by hand at least 6 1-gallon bags of peppers and onions, and put them in the freezer. Usually don't keep vegetables much after February, but I always fix my own food too. So working on my grill. My other one I went out to the barn right away, trying to save time. These are the California poppies, what they look like when you don't mow them down again. You kind of get a second growth. That's a morphine. That's a medicinal plant that was here when we moved here. This pump that I got for 20 bucks at West Liberty, a Lincoln Luber. I'm thinking I could buy a 10 sign, a repop for 20 bucks, and repaint it up pretty, and then apply that 10 sign, make it adhesive with some glue, some sort of strong adhesive, and stick whatever trips my trigger onto that guy, and have me a little collectible, just kind of like art. That's what that bicycle is. And it has a couple other purposes, but for aesthetics. And this is my little apple trees and my small vegetable garden. The bugs really didn't bother the very dry root bulb clear over yonder. Where I would show you my trees back at the pond. I planted over 40 trees back there. And 2022, I planted seed, and around Memorial Day and around September, I transplanted them to my garden. They overwintered here 22, 23, and then here we are September 23rd of 2023, and I transplanted out of the 60 I planted, about 40 of them got transplanted back to the pond that had made it healthy enough. All those trees that were here are back at my pond now, 40 some of them transplanted, and then we had the 1 3/8 of rain. I think my freezer's about packed full of peppers. There's some beautiful peppers out here. There's a few beautiful pickles still on here, I think. And a few beautiful, maybe, if the temperature stays up, tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes. Get the seed out of those. Rip the vines that were clear over the top, you know, kind of cleaned up, and run the tiller up close. Give them a little haircut. This thing will get hedged down. It's a bamboo-ish almost at this point. There was only 3 of those little things, like little hairs, when I planted them, like that fennel. Oh, I forgot about this. Here's this garlic I planted in late July. This weedy. And then it didn't rain until about yesterday. And I sure didn't water the garden any. But just loaded with huge peppers, very heavy. I think the ones you buy at the store, they just don't have the weight. My mom, I give her some, she's like, oh my gosh, that's heavy, you know, and they are. And these are California Wonders, and I think when you buy bell peppers at the store, they're not California Wonders. You wait for them to turn red, the 4 lobes. Kind of a, you know, you can't beat something like that guy right there. It doesn't get much better than that for antioxidants. So I have more curb fine fence. It's pretty, you never need to paint it. And I'm thinking about going straight on over here with that. That's the idea. I'm gonna be out here building a fence when I get some free time pretty soon. I want to go back to my little fire again. Oh, I had an idea for that. And a little bit of cleanup. Tilled down the weeds. The trees are done. That was a real relief. And and then the rain, I was pretty heartbroken for the rain. And people 3 miles that way didn't get any rain from that storm. And there's a lot of rust in the lawns. In September we get that lawn rust. It's like dust on the tires. And then another thing to show you, the pine trees, they don't look so pretty, you know, at all times of the year. And I call it bedding itself in, and it's mulching itself in, where it drops the needles and it lowers the pH in the soil, which is, it's kind of self-fertilizing it, how they do, and everything out here. It's kind of nice over here in this side yard. There's the rest of my yard if it shows up. It's kind of coming out of it now, but the yard hasn't had any fertilizer in a couple 3 years, it seems like. So it'll be the 1st of October here in a few hours, and it would be more exciting if I grew some gourds and pumpkins, but that didn't happen this year. But that's what 2023 ended up to be for me. Thanks for watching, Bogart Rippy.